soft tissue sarcoma. He would be speaking on corona pandemic, what we need to know and practice. So definitely from the medical science point of view, it should be a very informative lecture. Could I request Professor Abhinav Sonkar to please give your talk? Thank you.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Good morning, Professor Naveen Khare. And very few people would be knowing that I was kind of as a student. He was doing PhD, and I was just cleared my 12th senior secondary, and I would go to him, and learn from him. From the final months of chemistry, I was preparing for CPMT and other things. And very gentle, down to earth man. Thank you, sir. And his wife, Professor Rashmi Khare. And they have been very kind to me, and they are like father figures or elders to me. And I'm so very grateful and also humbled. At the same time, I kind of feel like I'm out of place. And is my slide visible, Professor Khare?
Yes, it is. It is visible.
So I think that I'm kind of out of place because you are talking about high-end chemistry, causation, pathogenesis, medicinal chemistry, and I'm simply talking about what causes, and probably you all know and already been talked about. So moving on to the my presentation, we all know that it came from coronaviruses are already known. They are already known. They were in the recent history also. They were been taught also, but they were not very much known because there were zoonotic diseases present only in bat and animals and fishes. But it originated in late December 2019 in Wuhan, Hubei province, China, as you all know. And on January 30, 2020, World Health Organization declared as a public health emergency of international concern. And it also called itself as a COVID pandemic. Yeah. इसके slide share नहीं हो रहा है. Okay. F5. All right. F5 is ये Mac है actually. किसी को नहीं. All right. I'm on a somebody बुला के लेना किसी Mac को. Why it is not? ये वही वाला नया वाला है. In the meantime, ये full screen नहीं हो रहा है.
Just use this button where your cursor is. Yeah, just press this.
Full screen करना है.
Slideshow.
Yeah.
Why did not slideshow क्यों नहीं आ रहा?
ये बन क्या रही है ना टेबल?
हाँ, ये नहीं आनी, ये slideshow आना है. ये पूरा जा रहा है.
F5 दबाइए.
ये Microsoft नहीं है यार, ये Mac है. Function F5. All right. Probably I will have to stop share and then do it.
Sure. You can do this way.
Yeah, stop share and then do it. कहाँ पे? नहीं, ये नीचे है स्लाइड शो पे आप. नहीं स्लाइड शो की बात हो रही है ना, पूरा नहीं आ रहा है ये. शायद पूरा टेबल बन के आ रहा है. मैं शेयर स्क्रीन कर रखा है मैंने. या शेयर स्क्रीन कर रखा है. दिस इज इट माय प्रेजेंटेशन. नहीं हुआ है ये है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट किया ना.
Yeah, correct.
ये नहीं है. Mahan ko bola. Is it okay now? I think
Yeah, it's okay. You can do this way. Yeah. You can
Okay.
roll.
Yeah, approved, approved, approved. Hmm? ये कंट्रोल कंट्रोल फुल अभी भी स्लाइड शो के लिए आ रहा है नहीं नहीं इट इज गोइंग लाइक दिस स्क्रॉल कर रहा है इट इज नॉट वन बाय वन जैसे ये कुछ बदलने को पहले अरेंज कर रहा है गो अहेड इट्स नॉट गोइंग लाइक दैट नहीं हो रहा है
नहीं ठीक है. It is fine. You
Okay.
can do this way.
So when we have already talked about, so what is the disease epidemiology? That current evidence suggests that the causative virus is a variant of a old coronavirus, and it has been named as systemic acute response syndrome coronavirus 2, and it has a zoonotic course closely related to the bat origin. The persons that are infected by the COVID-19 virus are the main source of infection. It is not known to happen in humans. It has only been recently been observed, though man-to-man, animal-to-man transmission is also known. What causes the spread of this virus is it is a direct spread. If a person, infected person, coughs and sneezes or talks, there is a likely chance of development of aerosols containing in highly infective virus. And when a susceptible human is it is spread by touching an infected surface, followed by eyes, nose, or mouth. When a person touches, the virus is inoculated on the surface. The pathophysiology, you must have seen that this virus causes acute syndrome, respiratory syndrome-like condition. Acute respiratory control-like syndrome is that majority of we will proceed in the future further slide that majority of the problems are infections are low grade. They do not require admission in hospital or ICU. But yes, there is a group of patients like less than 5% who do require oxygen care and ventilator support. The how does it happen is that this virus attacks, though it attacks all the systems of the body like kidneys and lungs and brain and other organs, but primarily it affects the angiotensin converting enzyme. It enters, causes the endothelial damage of the pulmonary vessels. It causes small thrombus in the vessel, which call it microvascular thrombi, and it also causes inflammation of the alveolus and interstitial tissue on which the alveoli rest. And therefore, it leads to vasculopathy. You know, if the vessels are not able to transport oxygen, blood, they are not able to transport oxygen, which gives rise to pulmonary intravascular coagulopathy. It causes hypercoagulability. There is ventricular perfusion mismatch and refractory ARDS-like conditions, acute respiratory distress syndrome-like condition. If you want to define a case, who is a case? A case is a patient with acute respiratory infection and a history of travel in an endemic area during 14 days prior to symptoms. Patients ARI having been in contact with a confirmed or probable COVID-19 case in the last 14 days, or patient with severe ARI and in the absence of an alternative diagnosis. These are defined as a case by the ICMR and Government of India. A probable case is a suspect case for whom COVID-19 testing is inconclusive, or a suspect case for whom testing cannot be performed. And a confirmed case, as you know, a person with laboratory confirmation of COVID-19 infection, irrespective of clinical signs and symptoms. What are the clinical features? You must have heard that the fever is the most common sign, and therefore you must have seen that in malls and airports, people are using thermal scanners, to see for rise in temperature, which is the most common feature, followed by coughing, followed by fatigue, anorexia. Anorexia is loss of appetite, shortness of breath, pain in muscles and myalgia. And then you must have heard that the loss of smell and loss of taste, nausea and acuity are also common, which is specifically present in this. If at all it happens, pathognomonic, you can say it is pathognomonic of COVID-19 infection. It also causes altered bowel movements like GI symptoms, sore throat, and nasal congestion. You must have also heard that this affects the smaller newborn kids and the elderly people above 60 years. And probable reason could be that when the person is above 60 years, he already has some kind of diabetes, hypertension, cardiac disease, chronic lung disease, cerebrovascular disease, chronic kidney disease, immunosuppression, and cancer. These systems are already compromised. And whenever there is cytokine storm, there is injury by the COVID-19, it already compensated system decompensates. And these are the group of patients, especially elderly above 60, who are at the risk of developing florid infection. What is the clinical presentation? My clinical presentation, the incubation period is 2 to 14 days, and the mean is 5.1 days after exposure. Approximately 80% of infections are mild and asymptomatic, whereas 15% are severe infection requiring oxygen support, supplemental oxygen, and 5% are critical, requiring infections requiring ventilation. Not all the if you remember this, the COVID-19 spread from China in the month of January, and in India, January, February, March, and April are the months where pollination happens. And it can also happen a lot of allergic symptoms. I like itchy eyes, and sneezing, and runny nose, it's sneezing, and other symptoms of common cold, but these are not always called by COVID-19. Whereas we also have flu-like symptoms like coughing and fatigue and weakness, exhaustion, which normally happen during change of season. Also, the viral infections are more seen. They're also seen throughout the year. But if these symptoms are present with shortness of breath and ageusia and anosmia, this could be, a reason where infection could be because of COVID-19 virus. So the idea is that we need to identify these group of persons who have shortness of breath. Normally, don't have shortness of breath in flu-like condition. Normally, don't have shortness of breath until unless you're asthmatic, you already have a lung condition, and therefore, whenever flu-like condition happens, these symptoms get exaggerated. They should be differentiated from these COVID infection. Symptom classification is we would. Sorry. What happened? My apologies. Can you share it from the mail? Running.
प्रेजेंटेशन स्क्रीन का उसमें ये सपोर्ट नहीं कर रहा है. It is not slideshow.
My man Friday say that this is not supporting. It has been made on Microsoft Word, and this is Mac. These problems. So what we can do? I know that name.
So we can rejoin.
नहीं आएगा उसमें.
We can rejoin. So we can rejoin first.
Can we rejoin just in a minute, Dr. Khare?
Sure, sure.
Sorry. मैं उनको बुला लो यार प्लीज. कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? खत्म हो जाएगा तब जाएगा, तो उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, but
so, preferably I can continue my till this is we are working out. I can.
Sure. Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah. The mild cases are you can very well understand because I've tried to present in a very simple way, not Latin and Greek like medical terms. The mild cases are those where mild symptoms are present and no radiologic findings there. Whereas the moderate cases are those where fever, respiratory symptoms, radiological findings of pneumonia are also present. In severe cases, the dyspnea is present like dyspnea is shortness of breath. Tachypnea is that you take frequent breaths. Hypoxemia means the arterial concentration of the oxygen is less, and when the lung infiltrates are present, more than 50% within 24 to 40 hours. So these are those patients, the classification of the symptoms. And then critically ill, these are those patients who are in septic shock, respiratory failure, multi-organ dysfunction. Septic shock means there is the presence of infection and sepsis, and there is blood pressure is also less. Respiratory failure is the ventricular perfusion ratio is bad, and when kidneys, lung, liver, everything starts to fail, this is multiple organ dysfunction, and we start to have this is the condition, right? Now, how do we diagnose? Now, once again, it is a reiteration of the fact that international travel history within 14 days, if it is there, it is the most important clinching factor which tells us about the presence of the person may have contacted COVID-19 infection. Symptoms once again are fever, shortness of breath like dyspnea, fatigue, anorexia, cough and myalgia, pain in muscle, and the investigations are RT-PCR, reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction, chest X-ray, CT scan, and complete blood count. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So support नहीं कर रहा सर यहाँ से slide show.
Am I audible in this format? Am I visible in this format, Dr. Mishra? Hello.
Yes, sir. This is fine.
This is fine.
Please continue.
Yeah. So in RT-PCR, this is the investigation of choice. In RT-PCR, we are able to, as you know, we are able to amplify the DNA of the coronavirus, and this is the final gold standard in the diagnosis of coronavirus. Chest X-ray and CT scan are helpful in ICU setting in those patients, though not needed for a general public like this. I mean, you people are learned people, but as far as the medical science is concerned, not needed, but only in a subgroup of patients where the chest X and CT scan would show infiltrates or solidification of the lung. Whenever lung solidifies, you can understand that the oxygen transfusion capacity is lowered, and therefore the person is not able to thrive normally. And in complete blood count, there is lymphopenia. This is the X-ray of the right lung, and this solidification, pneumonitis kind of thing, and this happens in CT scan, just to understand. Now, how to collect the specimen? The preferred sample is the throat and nasal swab, and which is carried in viral transport medium. And this is the anterior partial pillar. This is commonly known as tonsil area. This is tongue. We have pulled out the tongue, and the sample should be taken from here, and the nose swab. And it should be rotated 360 degree, and it should be done here at least 5 times. Alternate samples can be taken from the trachea, nasopharynx, or mixed and or endotracheal tube if the patient being operated upon, and transported in a cold chain. VTM stands for viral transport media. Those who are involved, though not needed for you, but those who are involved should use, it is mandatory for them to use personal protective equipment whenever collecting samples from the suspect or from the patient. There's no confusion about that, and this should be properly disposed, though not needed. Now, ICMR strategies is where ICMR Indian Council of Medical Research has provided us with a guideline as to whom should all be treated and what should be done. All symptomatic influenza like illnesses, individual with international travel history of 14 days should always be tested. All symptomatic contacts of laboratory confirmed cases. All symptomatic healthcare workers are not only doctors but nurses, ward boys, sanitary person, sanitation, whosoever is involved in the care of patients, they need, or if they are symptomatic with the presence of fever, myalgia, and other things, they should be tested. All patients of severe acute respiratory infection should also be tested. And asymptomatic, but those who are in direct and high contact of high risk confirmed cases should be tested once on the 5th day, because by 5th day we understand the virus, if at all it has to become symptomatic clinically, would become apparent, and not the 10 days of exposure. All symptomatic influenza-like acute influenza-like illnesses within containment zones, those who are containment zone like red zone, all hospital patients who develop influenza-like symptoms, and all asymptomatic ILI among returnees and migrants within days of illness. These all should be investigated. Management is the isolation protocol. In general measures, management involves isolation protocol, general measures, specific therapy, managing chronic conditions. Though it is more of a medical oriented, but it will be quite good we understand how we proceed on and how we treat the patient. The types of COVID dedicated isolation facilities are there, COVID care centers are there, and this could be hostels, hotels, home for mild suspected cases, dedicated COVID care centers, the full hospital or a block for moderate suspected cases, and dedicated COVID hospital for severe suspected cases till results are obtained or admitted in ICU. Emergency use authorization management of COVID-19. These, you must have heard that people want to use chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir, convalescent plasma therapy. You all are aware of it. There are equally good reports which support the use of chloroquine and do not support use of chloroquine. Remdesivir is a new antiviral drug, and convalescent plasma therapy, the idea is that it causes, provides the passive immunity. Therefore, it could be of some use. And these are all still being used, and the level of evidence still has not degenerated, so it is difficult for us to say anything about any drug or any mode of treatment. Remdesivir is an adenosine nucleoside product, and it is antiviral nature. We don't, we need to go into this. And the coming inside. The it is not. Okay. Then this plasma therapy is there, which where the infected person has recently been infected. We take plasma from the patient and transfer it in the patient. Plasma therapy is a strategy of passive immunization. It is reserved for severe ICU patients only, and what we should understand that these all the things are still being tried upon. Like most of it is an intelligent medical guesstimate. We still do not have a very level one evidence. Therefore, we have to understand that every therapy has its own, every therapy, hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir, and other antiviral therapies which are being bombarded to us on newspapers and television, etc. every day are coming out, and until unless we have a strong success of patient, we cannot say that this can be used with certainty. What we can do and what we can tell our known to, that we need to stay in a separate room at a home, if possible with attached separate toilet. It is important. We have to maintain a physical distance of 6 feet with others. We have to wear a mask at all the times. The COVID suspected patient or COVID infected patient has to use a separate towel, dishes, bedding, etc., which should be cleaned separately. Surface cleaning at least once a day is important, and make sure that only one assigned family member is caretaker of the COVID patient, because he or she would also be tested for the presence or absence of COVID infection. The ways, this is the most important. Thing for us to understand, because drugs would be used by a doctor, but how we can prevent infection, it is within our hands. Like physical distancing, maintaining a distance of physical distance of 6 feet, frequent hand washing at least every 4 hours, use of mask, and use of personal protective equipment. Personal protective equipment is especially reserved for those who are involved in the care of the COVID suspected, COVID positive patient. This tells us that 6 feet is needed, and it also calls this social distancing, or physical distancing. The idea is that if a person coughs or sneezes, the droplet and the foamite which are generated, aerosol which is generated by the patient, doesn't reach the patient, or the patient who is not infected. That is the idea, that we have to at least maintain a 6 feet distance. And we also have to avoid gatherings in groups, crowded places, in order to save ourselves. And if a person is known to have infection, he has at least to remain out of this crowded place. Frequent hand washing. What is a hand washing technique? This is a pictorial representation of how we scrub actually. This is how a surgeon washes. But we have to understand that finger hand washing technique involves those between the digits and the thumb and other areas, we will understand that it is an important hand washing technique. This hand washing technique should happen at least 20 seconds. A home soap is good enough. And I would like to reiterate that we don't need to go for whole hog for this alcohol-based hand sanitizer. If we have a home any soap, it is good enough. And if we don't, we can use a sanitizer also. Why wear mask? Masks, the face masks lower the chances of coronavirus entering the respiratory system through the droplets. Masks are effective only when used in combination with frequent hand cleaning and use or plus minus use of sanitizer. Once 80% of the population wears a mask, the outbreak can be stopped immediately. And this is for us to understand that wearing mask prevents infection. Wearing mask breaks the chain of contaminating others. And if we wear a mask, we should know how to use it and dispose it of properly. Because if in a contaminated mask, if it is not disposed of properly, it will also cause continuance of infection and infecting others who handle the mask. See, this slide tells if a person is not maintaining physical distance and both are not wearing mask, they are at high risk. But see, the level of risk goes down if in infected person, if a healthy person is wearing mask, infected is not, the risk is moderate. But if the COVID-19 carrier is anybody can be carrier, because I told to you earlier that 80% are mild or asymptomatic, and these mild patients, they could be having coronavirus, they may not be having coronavirus. So if they wear a mask, the chances are low risk, ultimately low risk, even when the healthy person or the other person is not wearing a mask. But see, this is most important and probably the take-home message that if we maintain social distance, and if we maintain the even not this is not this maintaining social distance, and we both are wearing a mask, the chances of infection is extremely low. And if we maintain mask and maintain physical distance, there is no exposure. So this goes on to prove that the mask, frequent hand washing are two harbingers or the two linchpins on which we can base our the future strategies to prevent contamination and subsequent infection of the population. These are N95 masks. You must have heard a lot of debate. What is N95? N95 stands for is filter and filters out 95% of the virus, bacteria, and the dirt. But it is not meant for common public. It is not meant for even healthcare workers who are not involved in COVID positive patient or ICU setting. For non-healthcare workers, for looking after patients, even suspected patients, the three-ply mask, surgical three-ply mask is good enough. And it will be a good enough, I think. Now, when we want to use a mask, we have to perform hand hygiene, unfold the pleats, make sure they're facing down. Sometimes I have seen that the masks have nose clip and they have the pleats are facing upward, but you can't help there. But place it over nose and mouth and chin, because these are the frequent areas we frequently touch unknowingly. And it should be, the nose pin should be pinched to close it over the nose bridge, secure with tie string. There is no gap. This is more apt for N95, but it can also be done for this. See, I'm having this mask, and this can also be done for a mask like this. And it is covering my nose here, it is covering my chin here, it is covering my mouth. It should be changed every 6 hours or as soon as they become wet, because the moment they become wet, they lose their ability to filter out the virus and bacteria. Disposable masks are never to be used, and they should be disposed of. And the masks are to be disposed of in a closed bin immediately after use. Now, here is a word of caution, because we were every country in the world was caught off guard, and there was certainly a shortage of supply of N95 and three-ply masks. So what we can do is that if we have a three-ply mask or N95 mask, and we are closed mask is good, N95 mask is good. If we have 4 masks, we can use a mask a day and put it in a paper bag, mark it day 1, and we use a new mask on day 2, use a new mask on day 3, and use a new mask on day 4. On 5th day, we use the day 1 mask. And this can be repeated for a month, and this is good enough strategies, and even sterilizing them in microwave and pressure cooker is also being recommended, but this can be safely done, and it's being used in other institutes also. This is how we tie the mask, but this is more of a surgical mask which we use, because otherwise the string masks are good for the common man. This is the three-ply mask. This is the outer layer, which is the fluid repellent. which is in middle layer is the barrier to the germs, the inner layer is it absorbs moisture. What to use and when to use? You must have seen that there are two parts to the mask. This is the bluish one, if and this is the white one. The white one is when we want inside, when we are sick and want to prevent others from getting sick. But when we are but we want to whether save ourselves from the somebody else's infection, the white thing is should be kept out, because white thing has got a more of this has got microfibers in it, and it helps in catching the virus and bacteria to spread. This is a simple pictorial how to dispose of used mask. We should wash our hand with soap, so that whenever we are taking out the mask, we don't reinfect or re-inoculate ourselves. Then we remove the mask, fold it, and if possible, put some kind of sanitizer on it or sodium hypochlorite on it, and put it in a bag, and then it can be thrown in the rubbish bin. This can be done like I told you. This can be done in a pressure cooker, and this can be done in an this ironing is good for cloth mask, but it cannot be done with the mask which we use, and even microwaves can be done. This cloth mask, paper mask, and this N95 can be closed the way I told you in microwave and pressure cookers also. Now the common problem is that whether we need to use AC or not. AC can be used. Central AC should not be used. Whenever we use it, intake of fresh air as much as possible, and recirculation of shade should be avoided. Intake of fresh air should be there, and air changes should be a minimum of 12 per hour. Cross ventilation should be educated, and replacement of air by using exhaust fan is a good idea. And air sanitization can also be done by regular frequent cleaning and sanitization of filters and door units. Ceiling fan should run at low, medium speed with intake of fresh air. Exhaust fan should run continuously for exhausting the hot air, and if possible, avoid central AC. Therefore, it simply means that in a closed space, if you suspect that somebody could be having virus, or if you want to prevent viral infection, just take out the infected air as much as possible. Guidelines on disinfection of common places: the 1% freshly prepared sodium hypochlorite, you know it how to make it. 70% alcohol can be used on metallic surface. It should not be sprayed because it creates a splash. High pressure space should not be used, because if it is used on surfaces, it may create a splash, and the splash can take the virus with it. And we also need to discard cleaning material in appropriate bags after cleaning. It is very important for us to know, and for other people to know, those who are taking care of the COVID-19 patient, because if somebody unknowingly and inadvertently handles the material, he is or she has got a chance to infect the other person. And this will continue the chain. We have to break the chain. Then all cleaning equipment have to be disinfected, and this can be done by in simple soaking them for half an hour in a freshly made bleach solution or effectively made bleach solution. This is you know it better than me how to make a bleach solution. 7 grams in 1 liter, and we have a 70% chlorine and other things. I'm just coming to my end of the slide. Coronavirus, the myth and reality, can be transmitted through mosquitoes. No, it cannot be. So there is no reason to worry. Everyone should wear a mask. People who should wear a mask, those having symptoms of fever, now myth, everyone should wear a mask. No, this is not a myth. Everyone who wears a mask is a good idea, because it prevents infection or prevents infection by getting infected and infecting others. But those people who should wear a mask are those having symptoms of fever, cough, etc., healthcare workers, the assigned care workers of a home quarantine patient. Only people with symptoms of COVID-19 can spread the disease. Those who are asymptomatic can also transmit disease, and these are those persons who are really spreading the disease because they are asymptomatic. Eating garlic and drinking alcohol can prevent COVID-19. Eating garlic and drinking alcohol does not prevent COVID-19. Rather, alcohol should be avoided. Spraying of, you must have heard that people are making sanitization tunnels and spraying. Spraying of individuals is not recommended under any circumstances. Even if an exposed person with the COVID-19 virus, spraying the external parts of the body does not kill the virus that has entered your body. Spraying of chlorine on individuals should not be done. You are already aware that it may cause irritation of the eye, skin, and GI symptoms like nausea and vomiting. Disinfectants are strong chemicals that destroy disease-causing pathogens through substance applied on inanimate objects. This can be used, and this actually hampers public observance to hand washing and social distancing measures. because we have a false sense of security that we have been sprayed upon and we would prevent infections. This should be provided. Arogya Setu app is a very good idea made by government of India, and Raksha Kavach is made by government of UP. We should download it. It helps us to know that if somebody is infected by COVID virus. When you leave home, these are the simple things that we can wear long sleeves, have a mask, avoid taking pet, and do not handle cash or and the metallic cash, and tie the hair. Don't try to use your own transport, and frequent washing of hand is recommended.
So please
Anyway,
summarize now because
I'm sorry, what happened? I'm at the end of my slide. The only 3 more slides. And when we protocols are when we enter our home, we have to do not touch. We should not touch anything, and we try to move our shoes outside. Disinfect your pet's paws. Disinfect. Leave your bags, purse, wallets, keys, etc. as the box out of your house. Take a shower and wash your mobile or sanitize your mobile phone. Another thing, clean with bleach or alcohol-based sanitizer. Obviously, you cannot wash your mobile because it will injure the mobile and permanently damage the mobile. Carefully remove the disposable gloves, then wash your hand. And remember, it is not possible to carry out complete disinfection. The goal is to minimize the risk. PPE is not needed. I would say one should not try to visit hospital until unless it is needed. Mildly symptomatic patients can be managed at home. I have told 80% fall in this category. But if a dyspneic, if you are raised, if you have a tachypnea, you should go to a hospital. If you need supplemental oxygen, the hospital is needed. Three-layered mask is good. Don't touch your nose and mouth. And patients stable with chronic condition. Patients with diabetes, chronic conditions, they should try to not visit the hospital frequently. They should try to consult on phone. This is the Corona helpline. We all know about it. We should download it from the web also. And if there is any problem, the government takes care of it very well. So before we end, we have to understand that this is a viral disease, and we are living in a time. Even when the coronavirus is present or not, we are in the acute. We are in the habit of, if not taking precautions, we will acute lung influenza-like illness. We can't always start with influenza-like illnesses. And if we wear mask, if we sneeze and take precaution, we'll always be in a position to break the chain not only of COVID pandemic, but even influenza-like virus. Remember, even influenza-like mild viruses or other viruses also called loss of work and loss of work days and loss of livelihood. So this can also be avoided. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and sorry for the glitches it has.
Thank you, Professor Abhinav Arunshonkar. It was definitely a very informative lecture from the medical point of view on corona pandemic and what we need to know and practice, especially from the epidemiologist perspective. So I can see the chat box. There are some more questions, some more curiosity to know from you, and some appreciation also there in the chat box. If you can read and answer some of those, if you have time. And thank you very much, Abhinav. We